A convoy of UN observers in Syria has been attacked in a suburb of the capital, Damascus. It was witnessed by RT's news crew there. It's not believed that anyone's been badly hurt. This comes less than a day after the city was rocked by blasts in front of the country's intelligence services HQ, which killed 55 people. RT's Sara Firth joins us live now from Damascus with the latest. Sarah, this must have been a frightening incident. Tell us more about what you saw.
Well, everyone came out of that uninjured, but this happened today as the UN observer mission had travelled to a suburb of Damascus, Al-Mir, and as we'd entered there, they'd done the usual stop and check with the security and the armed forces who were there, and they told us they hadn't got control of the area, that it wasn't a secure area. So we sort of followed them in very, very slowly, and you saw hundreds of people as you entered this town coming out and flanking the cars, really. We've seen this before a number of times when you visit these towns and villages. People absolutely desperate to speak. And we had the same thing. The two UN cars were just up ahead of us, and our car was surrounded by people who we were speaking to and filming through the windows. And we had people putting in shell casings. At one point, a man handed us a mortar, and he told us to show this to Kofi Annan. So, I mean, it was a very distressing situation because you've got very high emotions, tensions are running high too. A lot of people who were around us were crying, telling us these stories. There was a lot of anger there, and that's really what you're seeing in some of these places. You know, these people are 15 months into a conflict that they haven't seen any resolution to so far, and they're very, very desperate, and they're very, very angry, and it's a very volatile mix. And so there was an undercurrent of tension. The UN cars went off up ahead and went down towards the city centre, and our car was completely surrounded, and we managed to manoeuvre our way out of that town. And it had quite an anxious wait for them because we weren't too sure what exactly was going on inside there. And as we said, we saw large numbers and quite a volatile situation. But they did come out. When they came out, we saw the damage that was done to one of the wing mirrors and the back of the car. It looked like it was bullet holes, but actually on closer inspection, there's it's heavy layered glass, and the second layers weren't broken, so we think it was probably more likely to be rocks. The UN speaker, I've actually been talking to just recently, and he said they're not commenting on this incident specifically. And he also reminded me that the observer mission today has had their numbers bolstered. It's around 170 at the moment, I think, but that number's going to increase. And they're also going to be tomorrow receiving more armoured vehicles and more equipment. So I think really the sense from speaking to them is, to focus on the task at hand here, and that's to get on with their job, to oversee the implementation of this peace plan, which is so vital to this country. And we've had reports today that security forces have stopped another suicide bombing attempt in Aleppo. It really goes to highlight on the back of yesterday's explosion just how volatile the situation here is, and how important this observer mission is, viewed by many as the best and quite probably last chance for bringing stability to this area before you see the situation deteriorating even more. And we've been visiting some of these areas. We were in Idlib the other day, and as we saw there, the observer mission absolutely vital because even now fierce fighting is continuing.